Joining us here on the News Hour from Cairo on Skype is Abeer Etefa from the World Food Programme. Abeer Etefa, your people on the ground, what are they telling you today as to how well the operation is going, if indeed the operation is progressing at all, given the situation?
We're seeing some positive steps happening right now. The World Food Programme has delivered food for the first time since 2012 to the besieged town of Daraya. That's a suburb of Damascus as part of this joint UN and Syrian Arab Red Crescent convoy. We've delivered food for around 2,400 people, as well as wheat flour for the entire population of Daraya. As also of last night, we had a convoy that went into Douma, which again, another besieged area that delivered food for over 24,000 people. And as we speak, we are hoping and working on sending food to around 15 out of the 19 locations that are besieged in Syria. So there are some positive steps. However, we've learned through experience that when we get the clearances, it does not necessarily translate into deliveries. So we're just continuing to hope, but we are also ready with all our other plans.
When you talk about those 2,400 people that you've managed to get food aid, and they've also been on the receiving end of medical supplies too, we understand, on top of the 2,500 people we're talking about, there are specifically 6,000 people, including that 2,500, who need food aid. Will you be in a position to get food aid to those extra people as well in the coming days?
We are ready. Our food is ready in the warehouses, and we're hoping that these convoys will be a series of convoys and not just one. The solution to the crisis in Syria is to lift the siege of these people, these civilians, the families. And we continue to hope that we will have regular access to these areas. And it does not translate to a one-time off convoy where we can send food and then we probably don't see these people again for a few more months. So we're ready. We think that what happened on Thursday and Friday is all a step in the right direction, but it's yet to be seen whether this is going to translate into regular access or not.
As you and I are having this conversation, we've been playing out some pictures from this end of the convoy arriving in Daraya. I'm surprised looking at the pictures that there aren't more people on the streets. It's almost as if they didn't expect it, or they're surprised by it, or perhaps even they're too frightened to leave wherever it is they're holed up, because it looks like a scene of almost complete, total devastation.
Well, it has definitely taken the team over 20 hours to get into Daraya. And by the time they got inside Daraya, it was really late at night, and they finished the delivery of food at the early hours of Friday morning. So, of course, this is a time when people probably are not in the streets, but certainly there was a lot of, skepticism also on what is going to happen. So I think it's kind of like it reflects the mood and the situation inside Daraya, but it's also a factor of the fact that this was a really late hour of the night.
What's the choreography that has to happen? Because you're saying there that the different sides have to agree to stop the fight. But one of the problems with Daraya over the past 24 hours has been that it looked as if the fighting had stopped, and then allegedly it was the regime who dropped barrel bombs, a particularly vicious deployment of a vicious weapon.
We will continue to deliver food to these areas, but unfortunately we have no control over what happens next after we leave the area. So, from our side, our plan is to continue to deliver by road, to have our teams ready with food supplies so that we can reach all of the 19 besieged areas. WFP has been providing food to over 4 million people in Syria systematically every month, and it's really a shame that we're not able to reach the thousands of people who are in besieged when food is only a few kilometers away from these areas in our warehouses.
Abeer Etefa from the World Food Programme, thank you very much.